Today, we are going to take a look back at some of the discontinued McDonald's menu items that have been forgotten. McSpaghetti, lasagna, fettuccine, Alfredo, and McPizza. When you think of McDonald's, most people think of cheeseburgers, fries, McNuggets, and possibly a chicken sandwich. But there was a time when they tried Italian. The McSpaghetti came out in the 1980s. And if that didn't sound like a Happy Meal, then how about lasagna or fettuccine Alfredo? The dishes have been removed from the menu, but they have still been available in certain countries. McDonald's also tried to make more dough by selling pizza. They released the McPizza in the 1980s, and originally it was a family-size pizza, but it was later scaled down to personal size. The pizza took 11 minutes to prepare, which was too long for their fast food service. By 2000, McDonald's removed the McPizza from the menu. McDLT. One of the more successful additions that McDonald's had was the McDLT. This was served in a special container that kept the patty separated from the lettuce and the tomato. This allowed the patty to stay hot while the lettuce and tomato stayed crisp and cold. It was introduced in 1984, and by the early 1990s, was removed from the menu because of environmental concerns with the styrofoam packaging. McLobster and Hula Burger, when you look at enough of these items, it will make you start to wonder, what didn't they do? The McLobster hit the market in the 1990s, and yes, it did have lobster. This menu item had some supply issues, as well as it not being very profitable. The McLobster has been removed from the menu, but it has appeared during the summer in the Atlantic Canada and the New England regions. In the 1960s, McDonald's tried to be hip with a Hula Burger, which was a meatless burger. It was really nothing more than a pineapple on a bun with cheese. I wonder how many they sold, because this just sounds awful. McSoup and onion nuggets. When you want fast food, you probably hit the drive-thru. Sandwiches and fries are the perfect item when you're on the go. But soup, not so much. I cue and imagine having hot soup slosh around and spill over onto your lap as you trying to slurp it down. But the restaurant chain did try the McSoup on their menu. It really just looks like a can of Campbell's Select that has been opened and renamed. This menu item has since been canned. Onion rings have been a great side to burgers for many years. McDonald's wanted to get in on this market, but also do something different at the same time. They came up with the idea of onion nuggets. These were basically chunks of fried onion, and they don't sound too bad. Take a look at that sandwich next to the onion chunks. That was the chopped beefsteak sandwich. And it is another item that has been discontinued at McDonald's. Spanish omelet, bagel, and McStuffin in the early 2000s. McDonald's sold the Spanish omelet bagel. It was basically a bagel, ham, cheese, egg, and some spices. This breakfast item didn't sell too well, and it was pulled pretty quickly. When Hot Pockets hit the market, they were a pretty big hit. But what if you don't have 4 minutes of time to cook them in the microwave? Well then, how about the McStuffin? This was McDonald's version of the Hot Pocket, and possibly a little more fancy. It was a French bread stuffed with a variety of options like pepperoni pizza and teriyaki chicken. However, these were not that popular of an item with consumers, and they were discontinued shortly after they were released. McJordan and McSolid, Shakers, McDonald. Tested out the McJordan in the Chicago market during the early 1990s when Michael Jordan was a hot item. It was really just a cheeseburger on a sesame seed bun, complete with raw onions, pickles, bacon, and barbecue sauce. What made this sandwich unique was the bacon on the sandwich, which was circular. In the early 2000s, McDonald's really tried to offer some healthier options. One of them was the McSolid Shakers. They came in a McFlurry-style cup. And the idea was to add salad dressing and then shake it up, so it was evenly distributed on every piece of lettuce. After poor sales, these unique items were shaken right off of the menu. Chicken Selects and Fruit and Walnut Salad in 2004. McDonald's decided to try a healthier version of the Chicken McNuggets. These were called Chicken Selects, and they were whole strips of chicken, but were still fried. Even though they were bigger and fancier, the public did not prefer them. and they were removed from the menu in 2015. They were brought back for a limited time, but they once again have disappeared into the McDonald's menu vault. In 2005, McDonald's introduced the fruit and walnut salad. This was basically apple slices, grapes, candied walnuts, and a little yogurt. Surprisingly, people just don't go to McDonald's for healthy options. Mighty Wings and Fish McBites in 2013. They expanded their chicken selection with the Mighty Wings. This was a bone-in chicken wing covered in spicy breading. The sales were so awful that the chain had to lower their price in order to get rid of their excess supply of these wings. After they did that, the item was discontinued forever. How about some fish food? Well, not for your fish, but for you. The Fish McBites hit the McDonald's menu, but didn't last long, and they were discontinued in 2013. They were flaky white fish dipped in batter and fried, then served with tartar sauce for dipping. Son of a Mac and McFeast, son of a Mac. That's what this was called. This sandwich was introduced in 2007, and it was just like the Big Mac, only it had one patty instead of two. Even though this has been removed from the menu, you can still order a burger and just ask for the Mac sauce to be placed on it, and you'll get a feel of how it was. One burger McDonald's used to have was a McFeast. With a name like that, it had to be impressive. This was basically a burger with lettuce, tomato, mustard, ketchup, and a special McFeast deluxe sauce. The sandwich made a big comeback in Australia in 2014, and it's still a big hit there. Hot and Spicy McChicken and Strawberry Shortcake McFlurry. The Hot and Spicy McChicken was pulled from the menu in 2006. It was popular in some regional markets, but not for very long. This sandwich had a crispy, tender chicken patty seasoned with a bold mix of spices, topped with shredded lettuce, mayonnaise, and served on a toasted bun. The Strawberry Shortcake McFlurry was released in the US for a limited time, and it was a huge hit. However, it was removed from the menu. Since that time, they've introduced the Strawberry Shortcake Sundae. This vanilla ice cream has sliced strawberries on top with a sweet and tart strawberry topping. Cheddar Melt and Angus Burger. The Cheddar Melt Burger came out in 1988, but it really didn't go over too well. It was a thick burger topped with cheddar cheese sauce and grilled onions on a rye bun. McDonald's has tried to bring this back a few times, but it has never stayed on the menu. In 2013, McDonald's tried to compete with the fancy burger joints, and they came out with the Angus Burger. People enjoyed it, but it really dropped because of the ever-rising price of beef. Superhero Burger and Macat Dog. The McDonald's Superhero Burger was released in 1995, and it was connected with the release of Batman Forever. The burger had 3 beef patties, tomato, lettuce, American and pepper jack cheese slices. However, this superhero burger did not last forever. It may have actually confused people, and it had a short-lived life on the menu. The Macat Dog was a menu item that was sold in the Midwest starting in 1995. I know it's pretty hard to figure out by the name, but it was basically a hot dog. This is no longer on the menu in the US, but it is still sold in Japan. Arch Deluxe and Big and Tasty in 1996. The chain came out with the Arch Deluxe, which was supposed to be a gourmet version of the regular old hamburger. Apparently, people prefer the classic version, and the Arch Deluxe was discontinued not long after it was released. The Big and Tasty was introduced in 1997, and it was supposed to compete with Burger King's Whopper Burger. This was a seasoned quarter-pound beef patty with pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, mayonnaise, and ketchup. It was discontinued in 2011, but it is sold in some locations outside of the U.S. Chicken fajitas, breakfast burrito, and Eggs Benedict McMuffin in the 1990s. McDonald's tried to enter the Mexican food market with the chicken fajitas and the breakfast burrito. Apparently, not too many people are a fan of fajitas and fries, so it was discontinued shortly after. McDonald's tried the Eggs Benedict McMuffin in 2016. But people who tried it said that it lacked the poached egg. This breakfast item didn't last long, and it was quickly scrambled off of the menu. Discontinued dipping sauces, hot mustard, Szechuan, and sweet chili chicken McNuggets have become very popular at McDonald's over the years. They have had quite a few sauces that people have enjoyed with these nuggets. Some of those sauces are no longer around, and one of them is hot mustard. It was discontinued because of its slow-moving performance, but many fans have been screaming for its comeback. In 1998, they released the Szechuan sauce as a promotion for Disney's Mulan. It was only available for a limited time. The restaurant tried bringing it back a few times, but it has never stuck around. Another dipping sauce loved by many is the sweet chili sauce. It was described as a duck sauce with red pepper flakes mixed in. Thanks for joining us on this nostalgic trip through McDonald's forgotten menu items. Which one would you bring back if you had the chance? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more retro throwbacks, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Until next time, stay hungry for history.